Joined with head baseball coach Matt Husted to preview his team's upcoming 2015 season. Coach, your team last year was 23-17, a 9-win improvement over your first year here. How do you see the program continuing to move forward after such a drastic turnaround year to year?
Well, I'm excited about this group. I think you just got to keep moving forward, and a lot of new faces this year, a lot of new guys we got to count on. But I'm really excited about this group. Really excited just to get at it, get started, and keep moving forward. We have high expectations. I think last year was a big jump, but we still have expectations far beyond what we did last year.
You look at last year's team, and a lot of the names that we saw in the box scores are missing this year. You lose a group of 6 seniors, 5 of which were kind of plugged in from day one there. So you lose 2 of your weekend starters and a 2-time All-American in Trey Martin. How do you really try to replace the leadership and the production of that class?
Well, each time you have such an impact group as those guys leave, you just got to have new guys step up. And I think that our new group of captains is doing a nice job developing and blooming, so to speak, and in the fall and then in the off season and now here in the early practices. I think that their leadership is continuing to blossom, but it's not going to be exactly the same team. It's going to be a little bit different in the way we have to go about things. There was some real dominance in the way that those guys did things with Trey and with Evan in particular, and so it's just going to be a different way to win maybe, but I still feel really good about this group, the way practices have gone, and I think that there's some guys who have some star qualities that just have to continue to blossom.
Let's start by looking at your pitching staff. We mentioned you lose 2 of 3, but you do bring back 2 guys who started on the weekends last year in conference play, or at least got a couple starts with Michael Kaufman and Josh Revelo. Besides those two guys, who do you kind of project to be your impact arms this year?
Well, I think that definitely Kaufman's a guy that you just got to lean on with his experience, and he had so much success as a freshman, being first team all conference, and he was really the runner-up, the pitcher of the year that year. But the other 2, other than Kaufman and Revelo, are going to be Daniel Bear, a sophomore, and then left-handed sophomore Jon Schmitz. Jon really did a nice job as a midweek starter last year. He got a conference start as well in the midweek against Elmhurst, did really well. So those 2 guys have blossomed, have done a nice job, and I think are really going to be guys we've got to count on this year. But I also think our bullpen is going to be something of a strength this year, is what I expect. Peter Moran came out of nowhere and was really a dominant closer at the end of the year last year, and I expect for him to have a significant impact again. And there's a couple other guys in that bullpen that I expect to really perform well as well. And it's just, again, going to be a little bit different way of winning games, but I feel good about the group as a whole.
As we look at your lineup, the real experience is going to be up the middle, where you return Matt Chappelle at second base and Matt Cruzy, who's got some experience at shortstop, second, and center field, and then Josh Kimmel, who started a majority of your games at center field last year. I mean, where does the experience have to come from outside of the guys up the middle?
Well, I think that Kyle Mellinger is a key. He's been our starting shortstop the last couple years. This year, we're looking having him over at third base to anchor that down, and I think that he's going to be a key leader. He's one of our captains. He's going to be a guy that's going to be hitting in the middle of the lineup, and so he's going to be an important part. Defensively, it's going to be he's working hard at third base. He's doing a nice job, but again, it's a new position for him over there. But I feel good. I think in our outfield we have some pretty good speed. John Peltz is very athletic and and has good speed out and right. We have a variety of guys. They're still vying for the left field job. Get them, good athletes and guys that run pretty well. And so feel good about that. And Kyle Trivets behind the plate. is an athletic kid with a decent arm, and feel like he's a good young player. So I feel pretty good. I think that we could have another really good defensive team. I think each of the last 2 years we've led the conference in defense, and I feel pretty good about it again. We're going to be some new faces. At first base, we're going to have some new faces, and we just got to see them perform. They've been doing pretty well in practice, but when the lights come on, and we'll see what we got.
You bring in not a real big freshman class, 6 guys. Kind of introduce us to those new faces.
This freshman group, I think, is a good group, and I think there's going to be some guys that have maybe more of an impact initially than others, but I feel good about the group as a whole. We have Tyler Sigler, who also plays football. He's an outfielder, just a really high upside kid, 6'4", and a big body who can run. He's got power, and I'm really excited about him. I think he has just tremendous upside, and he's really performed well, and just really being with us for 3 weeks so far. In addition to him, we have J.D. Carpenter, who's a first baseman, and J.D. has he has a nice left-handed swing and is pretty good over at first base, pretty smooth, is done well, and I think he's a guy who's going to get quite a bit of playing time right away. And both those guys, I think, have a chance to have a significant impact. Huck Shammah is a guy who is going to help us out of the bullpen this year. I'm excited about him. I think he has a great competitive nature, and has thrown really well so far, and so feel really good about him as well. And then in addition to those guys, we got 2 guys in the outfield, in Seth Meyer and Michael Hickerson, and those guys are guys that just keep getting better every day, and really excited to see kind of how they develop as time goes on.
What do you see? Your team was picked 5th in the coaches poll in the preseason, right where you finished last season. What do you see as the goals for this team going into the year?
Well, I think a championship is always our expectation. That's something that we make no bones about it. We want to compete for championships. We want to play on the national scene and regionals and that sort of thing. And is that a big and lofty goal? Sure, but that's what we're in it for. We're in it to go after it. And so I feel good about this group. I think it's a lot of new faces for a lofty goal, but I think that at the same time we have some ability and we have some talent, and we just got to perform and execute, and obviously we'll see how that goes. I think that we finished 1 game off the school record for wins last year, and you always try to top the best. So we want to continue to just be the best team we can be, and we're going to take it 1 pitch at a time and 1 game at a time, and see where we finish in the end. But I feel pretty good about this club.
And what part of putting that team on the national scale is the way you schedule, and your team gets off to a pretty tough schedule. You face 2 nationally ranked teams in the opening weekend. One of those teams you face again the next weekend, teams with postseason experience. Talk a little bit about your scheduling early on this year, getting 2 weekends in before your spring trip.
Well, I think it's good. If you want to be, if you say that you want to be a national caliber program, then you got to play those teams. And our league is great, and we have national caliber teams in our league. But we want to play teams outside of our league as well that have that kind of ability and reputation and tradition, and definitely we have that opportunity this year. And so want to challenge ourselves. We want to continue to get a picture of what that takes, and just prepare us for the long term. And so right out of the chute, we got Rhodes, regional team last year, very good club, and then Webster, who finished the regular season last year, ranked #1 going into the regionals. So two great clubs right out of the bat, and then Southwestern, who is a young club, a lot of freshmen and sophomores, and you know, guys, that team just keeps getting better and better every year, and so Coach is doing a nice job in developing that club down there. So, and then the second weekend, Webster and Wisconsin Oshkosh, you know, which again is a storied program, and you know, one definitely that you know, I expect to be a real challenge. So excited about those opportunities. Our team's excited about them, but you know, I just think it's great that you know right out of the bat you got to come out firing and compete.
For those people who may not be as close to the program, there's been a little bit of new work done out at the stadium. Can you give us an update on the progress out at Leaf Fund Stadium?
Sure. Well, we're excited because we keep moving forward with that, and so another phase is nearing completion right now, and that is the bathrooms and concession stand. The building's up, and they're kind of finishing stuff inside right now. But man, it just looks great out there, and it's going to be great to have those for our fans, for our team, and obviously the visiting teams as well, to be able to have those facilities to use. And also the parking lot towards the back there is all paved now, and you know, curbs are up. It's just really cleaned up the whole area, and it really looks so much better. So I'm really excited about the direction of things, and that we still have momentum, and we're making great progress on that. And you know, we still have a couple things to finish still, but man, you know, each thing that's added out there makes it look so much better.